Everyone, welcome back to my weekly analysis video. This week we have a lot of pairs that we're keeping an eye on. So we're gonna start off with OddCat right here. So if we start by weekly right here, we can see that the week before last week was a crazy bearish candle. Last week we had a bit of a retracement over here. If we go down to daily for a clearer structure, we can see that we have this area of structure where the support, resistance, support, support, resistance, support, and price has come down over here again, which also aligns, if we add Fibonacci over here, it aligns with the 50% Fibonacci level. What I'm specifically looking for in this trade is price to close under this smaller time frame structure, 1 hour, 2 hour structure. My initial trade was if price, if you look at this wick, if it closed under here, that would have been perfect, but it did not, so we did not enter. So it saved us from a stop loss. Yeah, so I'm just gonna wait for price to close under here. It could be that price could maybe have like a deeper retracement. So I'm gonna keep an eye. I'm not gonna be pushing for this trade a lot. I'm just gonna keep an eye. If price aligns with my strategy and closes under this area for like 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour time frame, then I'm going to be taking this trade. If not, I'm just going to be staying out and keeping an eye out where it might retrace. So this is my analysis for OddCat. Now comes NCD-CAT. So if we go down to weekly again, it's pretty much the same strategy. Weekly is bearish. Okay, weekly has come down to this rejection and retracement towards this strong area of structure where you can see a clear support, support, resistance, resistance. Price broke up over here, took support, support, and then price took support over here again, which is also the previous area of structure. So if you go down to daily, we get a clear structure. This is our lower high, this is our lower low. We add our Fibonacci retracement levels, aligns with 61.8, but like I explained over here, I'm waiting for a daily confirmation. So what I'm going to be waiting for is maybe like a daily doji or pin bar to confirm with my strategy. I'm not going to push right away into this trade because it's still the 4 hour is bullish. So I'm going to probably wait for like a shift of structure. So my ideal trade for this one would be for price to maybe close above here so that this becomes the higher low. And then for price to close below here, shifting the structure from bullish to bearish, and then rejection of this area all the way to the downside. So that's why I'm going to be waiting for a daily confirmation, but this is the ideal area where I want to see a break under so that it breaks under the EMAs, because the EMAs are going to follow by the time price comes back over here or goes up. Either way, I'm super interested in this trade. Now we go down to USD CAD. So USD CAD. So weekly is in a way it's kind of like kind of technical right now, because we can see in general the price is supposedly bullish, but also price shifted structure and it's bearish right now. And if you look at this crazy weekly candle right here, it's retesting this super strong weekly area of structure where there was a lot of resistance. Price broke above and came to retest. So what I'm looking for is price to make a lower high to go all the way down to lower low again, because weekly and daily, as we can see, are bearish. And also there's this area of resistance that's going to act as support right now. So what I'm looking for in this trade is for 4 hour to close above this area right here. If you go down to smaller time frames, it's going to make more sense. Let's just go down to 15-minute. So we can see that there's this area of structure where there's support, support, resistance, resistance. So as soon as price closes above here, it's going to shift the bias on smaller time frames. It's going to move from bearish to bullish. And once it does that, I want to take longs up until this area right here so that we take advantage of market structure. As we all know, market structure moves in waves. So it goes, if it's bearish, it makes a low, then a low high, then a low, then a low high. So that's what, so price is at this low right here. I want to take advantage of it trading it up to the low high. So this is my analysis for USD CAD. Super interested in this trade. I'm really excited to see how it goes. So next trade is USD Swiss franc. It's kind of far, so I'm just going to keep an eye out. because of all the crazy events that's been happening. But I don't really have to explain. Crazy support, a lot of support over here. Price clearly broke down under here. If you look at this big price took support over here too on the small time frames, but um it really did not care. So I just want price to retest this area where it took a lot of support, where I can take advantage of short position. I'm not going to be trading counter trend on this one. I'm just not that interested, unlike USD cap. So I'm just going to wait for price to come to my area, my strategy. Fibonacci aligns pretty well. There's a round number 8400 over here. Gonna be waiting for my entry strategies over here, shift to structures or engulfings or candlestick patterns. Whatever comes, I'm gonna take advantage of that. Yeah, USD Swiss franc is a really strong trade. High possibility price just never comes to retest over here, but that's okay because as I said, I'm just going to be waiting for price to come to my area and align with my strategies instead of pushing my strategy on a market that I'm not super confident in. As we can see over here, crazy support, super high support. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna come down here to make a retest. So let's see how it goes. Then our next chart is our GPY. One of my favorite trades for this week. Really looking forward to it. So RGPY is pretty much bearish, looking for a retest of this area right here because it's a crazy high level of support and resistance. Whenever price broke under this area, let me just fix that. Yeah, whenever price broke under this area, price always came back to a retracement or a rejection to go down again, as we can see, as we've seen over here, as we've seen over here, over here, over here, over here. Price broke above, came back to this area for support, came back to this area for support, again support, price broke down. Want to take advantage of this. So as if you look at daily, let's just hide all the charts for now. So yeah, if you look at daily, price is starting to make higher lows and higher highs to this area. As we can see, price gave us this crazy bullish candle right here. Then give us a small rejection and the spin bar, which is why I'm super interested in this trade. If we go down to small time frames, 4 hours has shifted structure. Price has shifted structure, came back for a rejection, and successfully did so. If we go down to even smaller time frames, we can see that there was a 1 hour trend line right here. I'm not super into trend lines. I just use it as a small confidence for my strategy. It's not what my strategy is fully based on, but we got a break out of this trend line, a really nice clean break. We have our 50% EMA right over here. We have, sorry, Fibonacci right over here. We have our 50 EMA right over here. So I want price to come down for a retracement of this level after the trend line break and also this area of interest. Once it does so, I'm gonna enter this trade probably after a rejection over here, and I'm gonna target this area. Probably a clean 3.88. If it takes more, probably like a 2.83, 1 to 3 risk reward right here. So I'm super interested in this trade. And the next trade is gonna be Euro NZD. So if you go down to weekly, we can see that price has made a high, made a doji. It could go bearish this week for retracement because price has been moving way too high recently. If you look at daily, it's opposite of RGPY, so price is making now lows. Price has made a retracement of this big structure right here in smaller time frame. It's going to make more sense. And price has made a doji on this. If we go down to 4 hour, as similar as RGPY, price broke structure, came back for a rejection. Not super interested in this trade. The only reason why I'm considering this trade is because of the 1 hour head and shoulders right here at the structure. If price gives me like a really nice and clean rejection on 1 hour and 4 hour, I might enter this trade, probably score like a 1 to 3 risk reward. We'll see how it goes. I'm not super pushy on my risk reward right now because the markets are being really volatile, so I'm being really reserved about my trades. Yeah, and we go down to GBP and CD. Not super interested. It's just that if I get a rejection over here of this area, then I might be interested. But again, as we see the VIX over here, price has already rejected a lot and confirmed that it wants to go down. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on this. We can see like a lot of structure over here. So if price comes down here, I might take a trade. I'm not really considering it. I just want to keep an eye on this because of this. Price could reject this area or this area. Always good to know. Always good to keep an eye on charts. Then we go on to Euro JPY. So I don't want to wait for like a lower high on this trade because price just made this on 4 hour. So since price is bullish, I just want price to make like a clean break above this area of resistance where price has struggled to close above and then just make a high low. And then from there, I'm gonna go longs. If we look at the weekly, last week was pretty crazy. We can see this crazy bullish candle. I'm gonna expect the same volume this week too, same momentum. So yeah, I'm just gonna be waiting and keeping an eye out on this trade. I was gonna take this trade, but luckily I did not. Um, because I was just considering the news and it was also after New York session. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out on this trade. And yeah, let's see how this week goes. We have EuroCAD 2. I think this is the last pair it is. Okay, so EuroCAD, as we can see, price is pretty bullish. I just want to keep an eye on this trade. Again, I just don't not a huge fan of the structure, but as we can see on the 4 hour price closed above this, coming for a rejection. So I might enter this trade if I get a clean break above this area during session. I'm not going to take this pre or post session. I want this in, either London or New York session. So if that happens, I'm just gonna wait for like an inverted head and shoulders kind of formation, shoulder, head, and right shoulder. If that aligns, that's perfect. If not, it's okay too. Not super interested in this trade. So yeah, these are my pairs for this week. I can open these up so you can watch them more clearly. So I will keep you guys updated about how it goes. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment and I'll make sure to respond to all of them. Thank you and have a good day.